You know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
It is time for us. Who might we be? We might be those Weekend Golf Guys. In fact, let me check. Yes, we are. I'm John Ashton in the studio. He is Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave, Timbergate Golf Course in Edinburgh, Indiana. Good place for the #1 golf instructor in the state of Indiana to hang his hat and other associated accoutrements.
It's a good place, right? I got a good space. I got my tech. I got my TVs. I got my force plates. I got my launch monitors. I got my K-vests. I got my hack motions. I got the stuff, man.
And he's got a table that he keeps hitting that his microphone's on. Stop that. Thank you. Stop that. It's for emphasis. I understand, but stop it. Anyhow, we are going to talk about the truth today. The truth.
The truth. You can't handle the truth.
Face to path relationships.
Absolutely. Creates curvature or takes it away depending on how different your face is from your path at the moment that club strikes the ball.
Otherwise known as moment of impact.
And it would be the moment of truth. Right. Boom, boom, boom.
And he's going to talk about cute little gizmos and gadgets that
got him, baby.
That he's developed of his own accord to teach you that whole face to path thing, which may sound like we're getting into the weeds, but we're not. We're keeping you out of the weeds and the woods and the tall grass and keeping you in the fairway. Notice how I did that.
A lot of golf balls today, baby. That's what's going to happen today.
Yeah.
I'm saving you cash because you're not going to spend them on those extra Titleists because you won't have to.
That's all right. It is probably the single most frustrating part of this game for people who don't play this game often.
You know, it really is. You know, they have trouble because they're going into Slicer's Woods to find their ball, but chances are, we always used to go in there to find everybody else's ball too. But nonetheless, it is the problem because balls curve and they always curve into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
How often, John, do you hit a curveball shot that starts where you wanted it to curve or curve from and always wound up where you wanted to curve to? How often does that happen to you?
Yeah, not very.
Right. For most people, the ball starts someplace and curves to someplace we don't want it to be.
Right.
Next thing you know, we got a problem, and that's why they come see me.
That is it, and he will explain what to do, the truth. We're also going to talk about handmade Italian golf shoes.
Yeah, they're pretty sweet.
Ain't they, though? It's all coming up. Those Weekend Golf Guys.
Got mine picked out.
Hang with us. We'll be right back. I am all ready for Cyber Monday. I'm going to sit right here at my laptop, and I'm going to do Christmas shopping for everybody. And I'm also going to do a little something for me, too, because I love Mack Weldon clothing. It's a premium men's essentials brand, and it's so comfortable. The stuff I have gotten from them is the stuff I wear every day. It's beautiful. It's made from fabrics that are so comfortable. They call them things like silver, air knit X, dry knit, warm knit. I don't care what you call it. I call it comfortable. They want you to be comfortable. If you don't like your first pair of underwear from Mack Weldon, you can keep it, and they will still refund you the money, no questions asked. This Cyber Monday, you can score big, too, and get 20% off your first order at MackWeldon.com/weekend and enter the promo code weekend. Plus, if you spend $75 or more, you'll get a free silver mask. MackWeldon.com/weekend. The promo code is weekend. That is MackWeldon.com/weekend. Promo code weekend. So you're filling out that form at the doctor's office where they ask you to just check out the diseases you think you have. And one of them says erectile dysfunction. And you go, do I want to check that one? I mean, I don't want that awkward conversation with the doctor right now. I really don't. And then I don't want to go to the pharmacy and stand in line and have some young thing hand me these pills. I want something discreet. I want no in-person doctor visits. I want no awkward conversations. I want no waiting in line at a pharmacy. Just fix it for me in the comfort of my home, which we can do at BlueChew.com. You can get the first chewables with the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis from BlueChew.com. You can get prescribed at no cost with a BlueChew.com affiliated doctor, and then they send it right to your door in discreet packaging. Here's an even better part for you. You visit BlueChew.com and you get your first order free when you use the promo code GolfGuys. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code GolfGuys. Just chew it and do it. BlueChew.com. Promo code Golf Guys. And thanks for hanging and coming back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton. He is Jeff Smith. He is in the Golf Cave, Edinburgh, Indiana, Timbergate Golf Course, and he is holding a little miniature golf club. If you want to see it, just go to YouTube and look for, put in the Face to Path Golf Guys. And what is that? You've got a little magnetic stick.
Yes,
Where did you get that? How do you get one of those? Because all of us could use one of those.
You are not kidding. This is something that I use every single golf lesson. Somehow, some way, I am showing the player the results of their actions. Mm-hmm. I have a short little magnetic stick.
It's probably about, 4 inches long? Oh, it's telescoping. Okay.
Oh, it's telescoping, right. A little bit longer. I went to the big box hardware store, and I went to the section that has a lot of construction utility pieces like T-squares, and this little stick with a magnet on it was, before I snapped the handle off on purpose, it was one of those magnetic pickup tools for guys who drop screws and nuts and things down into little crevices, and they need to telescope this little thing out, put a handle on the end, and pick up their screw. But I got one with a powerful magnet on the end. This one cost me like $8.
Okay.
Then what I did is I just broke off the last little piece of the telescoping part, the part with the handle on it. And then this little orange tip that I've got on this one, I took it off one of those alignment sticks and I fastened it to it. I glued it to the tip of this. So what I have is I have something that I can just magnetically attach to the center of the face of a golf club, or to the toe or the heel, if it depends on where you're hitting it, John. Here, put it over here. Down into the neck. Oh. But no, I put it on there because this little gizmo that I've got in my hand now, I've got a miniature golf club. I took a 6-iron out of the lost and found bin, and I cut it all the way off to the length of a golf grip where just the head of the club sticks out, no shaft.
Right.
And the reason I did that is because I want people to understand when they hold this club and there's no 3-foot long stick in between the hands and the head, they get to see the direct relationship between either grip position, left hand or right, relative to the club face, or what you're doing with the club face in your hands as you move it around.
Right.
And since I've got this little piece of truth sticking right off the club face, perpendicular to the club face, it clearly points out where the club face is going to be facing at that moment. And I talk to people about, of course, impact. I even do this in the short game lessons because people need to keep this in mind. What's the face telling the ball to do? It shows the loft of the club for sure, doesn't it?
Yep.
Look at that thing. Up, more up, down. What am I doing with the handle of the club? However, I'm moving this end of the club over here with the grip on it, with my hands on it. Look at what it's making the club face do. And oh boy, I got people going, oh my, I can control my golf ball with this. I'm like, absolutely. This is your relationship between understanding where the club is swinging to in space, right? Down, out, and in front of you to bash into the golf ball. And at that moment where the club came from is one thing and you can see it, but where the club face is facing at that time is also another. So that face to path relationship that we teachers talk about all the time to tell the golf ball where to go. Boy, do I have fun with this.
And whether or not it's because of a lack of repetition or the fact that we deal with a golf club once every 10 days or so, maybe once a week, as opposed to multiple times a day, it's kind of difficult visually to set up a golf club, an iron specifically, and know instinctively where the club face is facing.
Well, when people come to my lesson tee or in here to the studio, or even when I get to work with them online, I am now changing their outlook on that.
Okay. How?
I'm directing their mind to going, where is this? Are you paying attention to this? Because if you're not, and you're thinking about all kinds of other things that could be happening up here in the golf swing going, hey, should I be doing this or that or this? My wrists.
Right.
Do a little BJ. Should I do any of that? Well, why don't you say, well, I wonder what the effect on the club would be at that point. How about I pay attention to it?
Mm-hmm.
So people have asked me, well, why don't you just sell some of those? I could. And then I would spend lots and lots and lots of time cutting off 6 irons and 5 irons that found in the lost and found bin. And I'd spend my time doing that, putting grips on it and buying these little pieces
I have a better idea. Why don't you buy those little pieces? All right. You said you spent maybe $8 on the whole thing. So
yeah,
go buy, maybe get a discount, get a bulk discount, buy a bunch of them, pay $6 each, cut the handles off, put the little tip on, sell them for $24.99. All right? Worth your time.
$24.99.99. Because I'm telling you, when I get people's mind to pay attention to the face relative to their hands, boy, they really understand how to control their golf ball now.
Right.
It makes them so much better. This little wonderful tool of mine that is so easy to deal with. You could put it in your golf bag if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. Then, John, you would just lose it.
I'd lose
it. You'd get in there, I know. Yeah, I could put – that's one more thing I could put in my golf bag, Jeff. Thanks. All those things.
In fact, I was looking for something the other day, and I found like a dozen golf balls I had put in there at the beginning of the season. Totally forgot about them. Oh, look.
Yeah, thanks for adding to my causing my hernia. Thank you very much. Just stick another thing in there. But the reality of this is that if you did this at home and you just had it when you're fussing around in front of the television, come on, John, we've all done it. We got golf on TV. We're standing in the living room. We're getting our hands together. We're getting our posture. We're getting our waggle. Half of us are going out and getting a golf club anyway.
Yeah.
Well, how about going to get this little miniature club and go get yourself some truth and put it on the face and start to realize, man, I know exactly what's happening. So I'm down here at impact and I'm going, whoa. So that's why my ball's always going somewhere.
Fill in the blank. Yeah.
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 Right.
That's why, see, because with that stick, attached magnetically to the club face. First off, when you grip the club, it'll tell you if your natural grip or the one you use most often is actually the one that will send the ball in the straight motion, or if it will send it to the left or send it to the right.
Yeah.
And also, if it sends it to the left or to the right, it also imparts spin, which makes the movement even more pronounced, does it not?
Well, the other thing, right? It also shows people what the compensation move would then have to be to make it be the opposite.
Right.
So let's say I see this a lot. I see it a lot where people are gripping the club, and when they put their hands on the club, they're assuming that the club face is straight.
Yeah.
And it isn't close.
No. That was my problem.
Like as you can see right now.
Yeah.
That's not even close, is it?
Nope.
So the compensation move would have to be this tilting and twisting to somehow undo what I just did at the beginning. And it's amazing to me how many times that I can get somebody to do this at the beginning and realize what that is. And then I say, okay, now fire it in there as fast as you can. And wham, what do I get?
A straight shot. What this just was a very simple grip change.
Well, actually,
not even a grip change, just a movement of the club within your hands.
That's right. I twisted the club when my hands weren't the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The club was the problem.
Right.
Right. So I just did that and straightened the club to match up. So when my arms are at full extension, right, just right out there, or this one way or another, I'm chucking my club out in front of me, whether it be an over the top cast motion for like a surf fisherman going right out in front, or I'm coming in from the side, wham, into impact. All of a sudden, what do I have? I have my hands and arms at full extension, and I've got my club out there, and my club face is straight, and I can see it.
Yeah.
Man, seeing is believing.
It definitely is. It is the truth. We're going to talk more about how to see it, what to do about it when we come right back, because we are those weekend golf guys. And I do want to reiterate that you can see the video of what Jeff's doing. Go to YouTube or just go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/golfguys, and the video is up there. You can follow along. Stay around. We'll be right back. Yeah, while you're sitting around with the family eating turkey leftovers all weekend long, some guys are out there trying to steal your home title. You know, the legal title to all of our homes are online right now, and the crime is called home title theft, and it's everywhere. Cyber criminals find the title to your home online. They forge your signature on a quitclaim deed. Then they refile as the new owner of your home, and you're off the title. And then they take out money against the home. They steal the cash, and they stick you with the payments. You may not even have an idea it's happening until you start getting late payments or even a foreclosure notice. Home Title Lock protects your home's legal title. Home Title Lock puts a protective barrier around your home's title. And the instant they detect tampering, they shut it down. So right now, there's more turkey. You can have it later. Go to HomeTitleLock.com, register your address to see if you're already a victim. Then use the code RADIO for 30 free days of protection. That's code RADIO, and that's 30 free days of protection at HomeTitleLock.com. Just got back from the post office, was standing in line behind grandma's, and they were all in masks and 6 feet apart. And I'm going, come on, I got a business to run here, people. I should have used Stamps.com, and from now on I'm not going to stand in line at the post office ever again. And I would suggest you do the same thing too. You can just use your computer to print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. Then you just call them and schedule a pickup, or you can go drop it off. 5 cents off every first-class stamp, up to 40% off priority mail, and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. Yeah, you heard me right. UPS. Stamps.com is a no-brainer, and I want you to sign up now and give you even a better deal. When you use our promo code GolfGuys, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Golf Guys. Stamps.com. Enter Golf Guys. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. I am all ready for Cyber Monday. I'm going to sit right here at my laptop, and I'm going to do Christmas shopping for everybody. And I'm also going to do a little something for me, too, because I love Mack Weldon clothing. It's a premium men's essentials brand, and it's so comfortable. The stuff I have gotten from them is the stuff I wear every day. It's beautiful. It's made from fabrics that are so comfortable. They call them things like silver, air knit X, dry knit, warm knit. I don't care what you call it. I call it comfortable. They want you to be comfortable. You know, if you don't like your first pair of underwear from Mack Weldon, you can keep it, and they will still refund you the money, no questions asked. This Cyber Monday, you can score big, too, and get 20% off your first order at MackWeldon.com/weekend and enter the promo code weekend. Plus, if you spend $75 or more, you'll get a free silver mask. MackWeldon.com/weekend. The promo code is weekend. That is MackWeldon.com/weekend. Promo code weekend. And we are back, those Weekend Golf Guys. John Ashton here, Jeff Smith in the Golf Cave, Edinburgh, Indiana, Timbergate Golf Course, with his little stubby cutoff 6-iron and his miraculous, miracle magnetic stick, for lack of a better word. But that's great, man. I mean, I had the exact problem you are addressing right now. I had no idea that my club face was pointing probably, 5-6 degrees left when I thought it was straight.
That's benevolent, but yes.
Even more than that? No.
Probably.
Let's say it isn't so, Jeff.
Well, since we didn't measure it, we just kind of had that look on our face going, whoa.
No way, that ball's going straight. Uh-huh.
Interestingly enough, you know, when we saw that with you and your club head was turned so much like this one is now that you can see is hard left.
Yeah.
You know, when I saw that when you're on the golf course, I somewhat followed the face direction when I did it. And I was looking directly at the hole over there on the left side. And I saw wow. So that's why they make golf courses with parallel holes. So John can play. That's what it is.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to hit to the tee box of the next hole, man.
But sometimes that's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Once you've gone so far left, maybe it's best to play up that hole and then pitch it off
and just keep moving along.
To fight your way back through those trees.
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick aside here because it is something that is tangentially to talk about with Club Face. Earlier in the last segment, you made a snide comment about how, for me, maybe I should put the magnet closer to the hosel.
Oh, this, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a snide comment. I just thought it was
Yeah, you were casting aspersions and making accusations. But the last time I played, I have got to remember how I commented that I broke 80, but I wasn't going to tell anybody. I wasn't going to talk about it. Wasn't going to mention it.
That's because you didn't play all 18 holes.
Yes, I did play all 18 holes.
Okay.
But I just didn't want to show off, so I wasn't going to mention it. And I'm not going to mention it again today. But that time that I broke 80, what was happening was I was making consistent center club face contact with the ball.
Ooh,
and
fun, right?
And to do that, what I was finding is that in the setup, if I moved the club back just a tad, so it looked like I was aligning it with the outside edge of the club.
Toe of the club?
Yeah, the toe of the club.
Yeah.
And then I swung and it hit right in the middle. Whereas when I set up thinking I was in the middle, I'd be hitting closer to the heel.
Here's one trait of you that I'm going to compliment. Or at least it's going to sound like that here in a minute.
And another one of Jeff's talents is he can berate you, but make it sound so nice. Go.
So one of the things that are good factors in your golf swing, when you swing, because you're built where your arms will go actually away from your body a little bit as you swing out to the golf ball, right? You're not built to be the guy who swings across his body inward, right?
Right.
You're the guy who's built that your arms will extend a little bit farther out. Well, guess what happens every time that you see, and this is what you learned on your own, because I had mentioned it, of course, on the radio a handful of times and even in person, but I'm glad that you did finally get it on your own. It's like the light bulb went off to say, hey, John, since you are this guy that's going to move it further out from your body, right, than where it started, it's going to move further away. Well, then wouldn't it make sense when that's one of the features of power and one of the things that you can do to be better? And then you get it in the middle of the face. Now, all of a sudden, your swing's better and your impact's better because you decided, well, I'll just line it up toward the toe. Now, we didn't say on the toe, but toward the toe. Right. So on the toe side of center, let's say it that way.
Yeah.
So not all the way on the outer edge. And then you move your club head out, and you move your club head out about a half a club's worth.
Okay.
Right? So the club head is, so big, and you yours out about half that much.
Which would explain all the mishits.
It would explain a lot of those, wouldn't it? Yes. I know. I'm so glad that you came to that discovery.
You know what it is when you say it often enough, it just kind of builds up, and suddenly it bubbles up to the top of your consciousness, and you go, oh, I remember him saying that.
I love how this works, right? I make it your idea, and then you generate it on your own, and then you own it at that point. Yeah. I love how that works.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it just takes so long for that to happen.
Yeah, well, what can I say? But I mean, it was on that round where I broke 80, but I'm not going to mention it.
Was that like a 70 something?
It was a 70 something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not quite 80.
Quite 80. Good.
But there was one shot I had where I had pulled a drive off the fairway to the left, and there was one big tree on my right, one big tree on my left out of the rough, and a green about 100 and maybe 45 yards away from me.
Right.
There was a window. It wasn't like I had to go over the trees or through them or anything.
So you ripped that hybrid good then, didn't you?
It was a 7-iron.
Oh,
man,
I'm sorry.
7-iron.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a hybrid. Sorry.
And I hit it, and it was just one of those, because when you make center face contact, you know it because you don't feel it. You don't feel it. You hear it. It goes whack. And you don't feel anything. There's no vibration. There's nothing. It's just like butter.
And that's when you realize the engineers really do know what they're doing.
They do. Man, they've designed it to work well if you use it right. So wonderful when plan comes together. But I mean, high, straight. And that's the one thing when you make the center face contact and you figure out how to set the head of the club correctly at address, and you actually hit the ball straight. Do you know how good it feels to hit the ball straight? To aim it at a pin on a par 3 and see it fly to that pin on a par 3? Do you know what it feels like, Jeff?
Actually, yes. I do, actually. Oddly enough, John, some of us plan that.
And others of us learn how to do it, but when we do, man, it goes like, I should have paid attention earlier. I'm just saying. I am just saying. If you,
I've got this truth teller stuck to the middle of the face.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhat of a visual reminder to people when they have it going, hey, they devised a golf club that's got more weight on the toe and more weight on the heel and a big wide sole plate on it. Something tells me that that's most stable in the middle when all that weight is on the outer edges.
Duh.
I know that, when we watch those players on TV, those really good guys, and we get a snapshot of their clubs, we get to see a little worn out spot, like 3 to 4 grooves up from the bottom, right smack in the middle of the head. And it's like a size of a dime.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering is if do they carry clubs like that? Do they have somebody with some steel wool on their fingertip and just grinding away at that?
They do, just in case they get the close up.
With it enough?
Well, they get the close up, so
it makes me wonder about that.
Yeah. The one thing I would say that you're going to get some flack, but go out and buy one of those sticks, one of those screw retrieval magnet jobbers at the hardware store.
Yeah.
Use it as Jeff is describing on the face of your club to see where it is pointing. And it'll also give you some idea of the loft of the club too, because there are many times I know you'll get to a situation where maybe you have to go over a tree and you're a 6 iron away, but you have to say, now, do I want to use the club that will get me to the distance, or do I want to use the club that will get me over this tree? And you can always check the loft of the club you need to use. Now, is it true that were I to put the club on the ground and to step on the club face so that the back of the club face was on the ground and the shaft was pointed up, it will tell me basically, if I hit it correctly, the flight path that the ball is going to take when it leaves that club face?
Okay, here's my teacher answer, John. You know which one you hate, right?
It depends.
It depends, right?
Okay.
And why is it depending on that? Well, how about let's look at the back of the club for a minute. All right. So let's say we're talking about some blade clubs that don't have this big wide sole plate.
Mm-hmm.
If we stepped on the face there, we have somewhat of a thin thing hitting the ground, and it somewhat represents the loft. But as soon as we put it on the ground with one of these clubs that has a big, gigantic, wide sole plate, and then we tilt it over and hit the ground, we do not reflect the loft. So as soon as we're stepping on it, we do not get the shaft popping up into the air to tell us what that is, because the back of the club is so broad, so wide, that it gives us a bad look at it. So it happens more often than not with the wedges, because the wedges don't have those massive wide sole plates that many clubs have now. So it depends. I know it depends.
But okay, so maybe that technique doesn't work. But were you to go make yourself one of those little $8 gadgets gizmos, stick it on the club face,
and go, wow,
that'll show you the loft.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the rules of golf for just a moment.
No, we don't need to talk about we know it's illegal, but that's okay.
I'm just pointing this out, that if you're doing this and listening to this show and all of a sudden you go, but John said.
See, that's why I said it, because I'm not the golf pro.
That's right. You're not the golf pro and you're not the rules official. Because
right.
I'm going to tell you the official part of that is 99% of the time, I don't care about the rules. But in this instance, I'm going to mention the time that I do, because that is a training aid.
It is a training aid.
Use it in the round of golf.
Well, don't take it if you're playing for money, if you're playing for anything. Go out, because you play golf to practice. You know that. You play because a lot of us have to put both practice and playing together. We have to coordinate it.
Say the word practice now.
I know. I
realized you just stumbled upon it there. It was really hard to get it out. But
and I'm going to start doing it any day now, I promise. But the thing of it is, there are rounds that you should dedicate to improvement. Go out there, make yourself one of those $8 gadgets. Go out there and just before every iron shot, put it on there just to show yourself where that ball's going to go.
You're beginning to sound like me. I think some of my evangelical zeal of teaching people better golf is rubbing off on you.
And can I get an amen?
You could.
Oh, man. And you know what else? You know what else you need other than an $8 gadget and gizmo to see where your ball's going? You need some handmade Italian leather golf shoes.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Find out.
We're going to talk to them when we come back, because we are those weekend golf guys, and it's what we do. Don't you move. Of course, we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/golfguys. We would love it if you were to go there and like us. Facebook.com/golfguys. Okay, so Jeff's got his little gadget that he calls the truth. Let me give you another truth. This one may be a little hard to swallow. But you know, the legal title to all of our homes are online right now. And there's a crime called home title theft that is running rampant. Cyber criminals find the title to your home online. They forge your signature on a quit claim deed, and then they refile as the new owner of your home, and you are off the title. Then they destroy you by taking out loans against your home, steal the cash, stick you with the payments, and you may not even know it until you get some late payment or even a foreclosure notice. Now, Home Title Lock protects your home's legal title. Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier around your home's title. The instant they detect tampering, they shut it down. So right now, make Jeff's gadget later. Right now, go to HomeTitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. Then you use the code RADIO for 30 free days of protection. That's code RADIO at HomeTitleLock.com. So you're filling out that form at the doctor's office where they ask you to just check out the diseases you think you have. And one of them says erectile dysfunction. And you go, do I want to check that one? I don't want that awkward conversation with the doctor right now. I really don't. And then I don't want to go to the pharmacy and stand in line and have some young thing hand me these pills. I want something discreet. I want no in-person doctor visits. I want no awkward conversations. I want no waiting in line at a pharmacy. Just fix it for me in the comfort of my home, which we can do at BlueChew.com. You can get the first chewables with the active ingredients in Viagra and Cialis from BlueChew.com. You can get prescribed at no cost with a BlueChew.com affiliated doctor, and then they send it right to your door in discreet packaging. Here's an even better part for you. You visit BlueChew.com and you get your first order free when you use the promo code GolfGuys. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code GolfGuys. Just chew it and do it. BlueChew.com. Promo code GolfGuys. And thanks for hanging and coming back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys. I am John Ashton in the studio. Jeff Smith has gone off to make a few more of those little gadgets that we were talking about earlier that show you where your club face is pointing. So he has opted to just ask me to ask you for a pair of shoes, Steve. Steve Craig from Tuca del Cosma is with us. And I want you right now to go to the website and check it out to see what we're talking about, because as far as an aesthetic goes, I think these are the most beautiful golf shoes I have seen in my life. They are handmade Italian leather golf shoes, are they not?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
And Italians know how to dress.
Yes, they do.
They are just, the designs. Who thinks of this stuff, man? You think golf shoe is a golf shoe is a golf shoe, but you look at the different styles that they have on the website and you go, well, wait a minute, this one's even better looking than the first one was.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, it really goes back to our creator of the company, Baldovino Mazziazzo, the true Italian name. Baldovino and his significant other, Angele, they were fashion designers in Italy, and they were both passionate golfers. They looked at golf footwear, and it's really boring. It's gray, black, it's white. And they said, well, we really can take our fashion design and we can deliver that to golf. So Baldovino started Tuca del Cosma in 2004 with this eye that they knew that the golfer will really need this breath of fresh air for a more sophisticated and fashionable look and touch in golf.
And did they start with men's shoes and branch into women's, or did they start with women's and branch into men's?
Well, they start with men's and women's at the same time. They've got a really good handle on both sides for men and women. It's
the thing where you may want to bring your wife with you to buy shoes now.
Yes,
golf shoes.
You definitely to buy shoes. No, we unlike some of our competitors, also place an emphasis on women's footwear. It's not just men's. And then a token offering of footwear. We're not quite 50-50, but we're pretty close to 50-50 between men's and women's shoe styles.
Most of the brands that I've noticed, the women's versions of the men's shoes are a little smaller, and the colors are usually like teal and pink. And that's it.
That's correct.
And that makes it a women's shoe.
That's right. It's fairly embarrassing for them that they have such a poor offering. Here in the States, we don't carry all of the shoes. We are a Netherlands-based company, and we don't carry all of the styles yet here in the United States. But having said that, we carry 27 SKUs of men and 22 women. That's not all of them.
But that's enough to confuse you when you go to try to buy something.
That is enough to confuse them. Yes, to confuse them. Yeah. And for the women, one of our biggest success points has been the animal print shoes, the zebra and the giraffe prints. Mm-hmm. And then in Europe, we have a cheetah print shoe that we have that donates money back to save the king cheetah in South Africa.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
So the little social consciousness going on there too.
Social consciousness, correct.
So I always ask people who are involved in ancillary golf business, like golf shoes. Are you a golf guy or a shoe guy?
Well, like I said, I'm a golf guy and knows a lot about shoes.
Okay.
So, I'm a golf guy.
Okay.
With a long history. I was a sales manager at Reebok, so I had a very good training in the footwear side of the business about how shoes should be made and what shoes should do.
Right. So this is you saying that these are shoes that I can get behind.
Yeah, these are shoes you can get behind because they have this fashionable appeal and this great look to them. Many times our golfers look at them and they're not quite sure what to make of them. They don't take them as serious as they need. But we make high-performance, serious golf footwear first, and we happen to make it look really good. Mm-hmm. But the internal workings of the shoe are exemplary. It's all high-performance materials and made to play golf.
So they're more comfortable than you would think that they should be because of the way they look. I mean, when you first look at these, I got to admit, when you first look at them, you go, well, they designed these to look good.
Correct.
But they designed them to be good while looking good.
That is correct. Well, we start, it sort of starts the process of the design, certainly, but then it's the Italian leathers. And then these are all bench made by small family-owned factories in Portugal who have a great deal of pride in what they make. They're not mass-produced in some of the foreign countries where other companies get their shoes. So our people really care about how they make a shoe. But, beyond that, we use materials like TR, that's thermal rubber, or TPU, which is thermal polyethylene, sort of technical names. But what you want to have is a very secure hitting platform and a walking platform when you play golf.
Yeah.
So the outsole material is incredibly important for support. The shoe doesn't break down, it doesn't twist, it doesn't torque. At the same time, that really helps you play. So we start with that foundation, and then we put leather-lined special Iron Flex insoles inside the shoe that are undercoated with cork. So not many people put cork liners in their shoe, and then most people don't leather line their shoe. Mm-hmm. And then we use a full waterproof sock, a full waterproof seam sealed booty inside the shoe to make it waterproof.
Wow.
So when we say our shoe's waterproof, you literally have to put a hole in it to now not make it waterproof. It's not just some coated leather that we say is waterproof.
Right.
It isn't. This is really waterproof.
Didn't spray it with some silicone, right? I mean,
correct. Yeah, it's not a PU coated shoe that tears off. They're really waterproof shoes. So it starts really with the foundation, inner workings, and the insole. So we're really trying to make a high performance golf shoe, but that's where the Baldovino, which is still with our company, he is still the lead designer of the company. Now, back in 2016, of note, Frank von Wessel purchased Duca. Frank is quite a shoe entrepreneur and creator. He was the creator and developer of a brand called Hi-Tech. Hi-Tech's still in business today, about a $300 million company. And then he owns some other brands, Interceptor, Magnum, Twin Peaks. And he really loved the Duca brand. So he had an opportunity in 2016 to purchase Duca del Cosma, move the corporate world headquarters to the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. And since that point in time, he's put his stamp on the brand and the development and really being able to take it to greater heights.
when you mentioned the small independent factories around that make these shoes, are they small enough and work enough to call these handmade? I mean, they're not machine mass produced.
There's about 200 hand steps to take to make a shoe. So, your listeners may not be familiar with what a last is. A last is essentially a form, either wood. It used to be wood. They're now plastic that goes inside the shoe that the leather gets stretched over. So every single pair of shoes we make, someone's got to stretch the leather over that last and pound the bottom of that leather into that sole by hand.
Wow. Okay.
To make that shoe. So, in that essence, they're handmade shoes.
And these people are making
a lot of detail.
These people that are doing that are making more than 10 cents a week, right?
They're making more than 10 cents a week, and their families have been doing this for 100 years.
Yeah.
So they're really good at what they do.
Yeah.
So that really is, the central focal point. First, we make quality footwear.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a way of justifying, because I'm going to tell you, people, these are not, your $49.99 golf shoes.
Correct. They're not.
They're,
right.
They're a little more pricey than that, and they're built to be that way, and they're worth every penny because of the comfort. Right. I mean, Jeff has told multiple times he uses the force plates to show you how important your feet are in giving you power for a golf swing. And,
correct.
And if your feet hurt, then you're not going to be able to swing that club powerfully and get any flight from your ball. I mean, golf shoes are not just something to keep your feet. I mean, it's not just the spikes that make them golf shoes. As the point
that's absolutely correct. It really is. It's a foundation of the shoe. And when you take a less expensive golf shoe, and the outsole seems very flexible, and you pick it up and you put it in your hand and you turn it and you go, oh man, this is really soft. Yeah, you want to go walk 5 miles in that shoe over all that terrain in a soft shoe.
Uh-huh.
No, I think you might. It's a reason that workers wear work boots.
Right.
They're stronger, they last longer, they're higher performing. So that's sort of what we look at in our shoes. And then obviously for us, it's that quality first, but then we're able to apply that next level, that fashion at, link that the other companies, that's just not their direction.
Steve Gray, who's the sales guru for North America for Duca del Cosma golf shoes. And again, do a Google search if you need to. Look it up. Get online. Check them out, because these things are aesthetically pleasing, extremely aesthetically pleasing.
They are very aesthetically. Yeah, go to ducadelcosma.us. Not to be confused with .com. You'll get to Europe, but go to Duca del Cosma US, and you'll be able to see the shoes there. And then for your listeners, maybe a good segue to do that.
Sure.
For your listeners today, we're giving a special 20% discount code for all your listeners if they go to Duca del Cosma and they just enter Golf Guys 20. So it's Golf Guys 20 at ducadelcosma.us. They'll get a discount on the shoes thanks to the Weekend Golf Guys.
Because we're such nice people.
You're such nice people.
We appreciate you doing that for us, Steve. It's absolutely great that we can help spread the word, as it were. Now, these shoes are comfortable. They're designed to be golf shoes first.
Correct. They're golf shoes first.
And I mean, if you had a choice to getting a suit off the rack at Penny's or a Gucci, what are you going to pick? The one that sounds Italian or is Italian is the one you're going to pick.
That absolutely is correct. It's like buying a driver. There are a lot of drivers, and that's why Callaway charges you $500 for theirs.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason it's a $500 driver and not $199.
Right. Exactly.
There's a difference between those two. So
you just have to decide what's important to you, what you want to do, what your budget is. And they're not for everybody. Yeah. I'm sure you guys understand that. Right?
Yeah. Our shoes aren't for every golfer. There's people who are, going to look at them, and then, fashion is a discretionary taste. Some people are going to like them. And some people don't want to invest that much into golf.
Yeah.
That's why there's less expensive golf shoes.
Right.
But
I'm sure
for the customers who do buy our shoes, we take a lot of pride. We put it in a great box. We put some nice tissue in there. We put a shoe bag in there, and we're so in tune with that Frank, our owner, Frank Von Wessel, his personal email address is in the lid of every box.
Whoa.
So if a consumer has any input that they want to give, either good or bad, they literally they can email Frank directly, and he will reply to that email.
Fantastic. In Dutch?
No, he'll do it in English.
Okay, great. Just checking.
Yes, I'm very fortunate that that's a dual language country, and they're excellent. DucaDelCosma.us. Make sure you do the .us one. Yeah, .us, correct.
And Golf Guys 20. Thank you, Steve. That's kind of a surprise. I didn't know you were going to do that. We do appreciate that immensely. Steve Gregg.
Yeah, no, that's welcome.
We do appreciate you spending some time with us here on This Week in Golf Guys. Just got back from the post office. We're standing in line behind grandmas, and they were all in masks and 6 feet apart. And I'm going, come on, I got a business to run here, people. I should have used Stamps.com, and from now on, I'm not going to stand in line at the post office ever again. And I would suggest you do the same thing, too. You can just use your computer to print official U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. Then you just call them and schedule a pickup, or you can go drop it off. 5 cents off every first-class stamp, up to 40% off priority mail, and up to 62% off UPS shipping rates. Yeah, you heard me right. UPS. Stamps.com is a no-brainer, and I want you to sign up now and give you even a better deal. When you use our promo code GolfGuys, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Stamps.com. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Golf Guys. Stamps.com. Enter Golf Guys. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. I am all ready for Cyber Monday. I'm going to sit right here at my laptop, and I'm going to do Christmas shopping for everybody. And I'm also going to do a little something for me, too, because I love Mack Weldon clothing. It's a premium men's essentials brand, and it's so comfortable. The stuff I have gotten from them is the stuff I wear every day. It's beautiful. It's made from fabrics that are so comfortable. They call them things like silver, air knit, X, dry knit, warm knit. I don't care what you call it. I call it comfortable. They want you to be comfortable. You know, if you don't like your first pair of underwear from Mack Weldon, you can keep it, and they will still refund you the money, no questions asked. This Cyber Monday, you can score big, too, and get 20% off your first order at MackWeldon.com/weekend and enter the promo code weekend. Plus, if you spend $75 or more, you'll get a free silver mask. MackWeldon.com/weekend. The promo code is weekend. That is MackWeldon.com/weekend. Promo code weekend. Of course, we have a Facebook page, Facebook.com/GolfGuys. We would love it if you were to go there and like us. Facebook.com/GolfGuys. And we are back, those weekend Golf Guys. I'm John Ashton. He is Jeff Smith. He has been drooling over the pictures of the golf shoes.
I want this one right here, John. You're going to work on this for me.
I will do that. You write down and you go to the same website and look at the same pictures Jeff's looking at. And remember to use that discount code that Steve gave us earlier. He has very magnanimously offered all of our listeners a substantial discount. But anyhow, okay, so, you buy yourself some golf shoes, and with the money you save from the golf shoes, go buy yourself an $8 gadget, just one of those magnetic picker-up things at the hardware store, and put it on your club face. It also gives you a good reason to clean the club face because magnets don't stick to dirt very well.
No, they don't, John. I'm glad that you are pointing that out to the masses.
That's why mine didn't work. I went, maybe I should clean these.
Oddly enough, the last time I saw your clubs, John, I couldn't identify where the head of the club ended.
You also have to clean the soles very well because the ping nomenclatures or the typeface or whatever you want to call it, the 7 and the L for the lob wedge look an awful lot alike. and if the
different lengths though, John,
if the sole is not completely clean, it's possible to overdrive a green when you're 70 yards away. I've never hit my lob wedge 150 yards. Yeah, well, it's because it was your 7-iron, dummy.
Well, oddly enough, I can recall one time when you did, but you were in a greenside bunker.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think I even did that once that day I broke 80 that I'm not going to talk about.
When you go out for your next round of golf, because a recent one you've managed to do quite well, how are you going to, let's say, temper yourself?
I'm going to drink heavily. ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com is where to go. You can go to Facebook.com/golfguys, and the video that explains what Jeff was talking about with that little gadget to put on the face of your club to see where it's pointed, it is up there. And you can follow along, and it'll make a lot more sense when you see it. It's very simple to do, very simple to learn from, and take it from me, it makes a vast improvement when you know at setup that your club face is pointed in the direction you want the ball to go. It makes all the difference in the world, buddy.
It is the truth.
It is the truth. And eventually you'll learn to handle and accept the truth.
That's right. Eventually.
So go get yourself a gizmo. Learn the truth. Then go out and play some golf.